Hi, welcome back to the channel. Today what I'm going to do, I'm going to fit ProRacing fuel module. It's fully adjustable, this is. I've actually used these on the Honda NC750X, made a huge difference to it. There's one on my Bullet 500 and I'm going to put this one on my Interceptor. Come round, but most of you see me Interceptor by now. Now, this only works up to Euro 4. You can't fit this to a Euro 5. What you need on a Euro 5 is Fuel X there, like I've got fitted to my Himalayan. But up to Euro 4, yes, it'll work, and work very, very well. Now, one of the things people do buy is fuel booster plug. Now the thing is, a fuel booster plug only works on, I think it's about 8th throttle. From tick over to 8th throttle, it richens it up then. Then beyond 8th throttle, the bike reverts back to its running on its normal ECU. Now the thing with the ProRacing one, this will richen it up all the way through the range. It's got a few advantages. The little brass screw, you can see the end of my thumb, that's the adjuster on it. And then this here, you can turn it on and off. Now let's just say MOT time in the UK. With this on, there's a good possibility it could fail, because you're actually richening the fuel mixture up, and that is part of the reason for Euros 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think it's 6 now, isn't it? So the engine on this, engine on all modern bikes, runs ultra weak, especially on air-cooled motors, because they're coming to the end of their time, if you want to call it that. They're struggling to get them through the emission laws now, so they have to weaken them down. It's like this has got catalytic converter in here. I think there's catalytic converter in the silencer as well. And I've just took the plugs out. I didn't know whether to fit one or not on this, because it runs quite nice. But I took the plugs out. The plugs are white, which if the plugs are white, that means the engine's running lean, very lean, which eventually there's no longevity with the valves on a lean engine. Plus it's creating more heat, and if you richen the mixture up, engine will run slightly cooler. Now I get these from America, so I bought one, I put one on my Honda NC750X, absolutely brilliant. Put one on the Bullet, I can hardly tell the difference, but it just runs very nice. But if you take the plug out, it's a nice light brown instead of a pure white. Now, like I say, you can only fit these to Euro 4. So what we'll do, I'll get the side panels off, get the seat off, and I can point out to you if you know yours is Euro 4 or Euro 5. Right, let's have a look then. Well, we all know how to take the side panel off. Put the key in the side panel there, turn that off. Stick that there out of the way. Pull the knob that's next to your toolkit. Just here, look. There, just lift your seat off. Right, let's come round so you can read what it says. The ECU with the yellow sticker is Euro 4. If you've got a yellow sticker on it, it's a Euro 4. Okay. Now I've already took the screw out the side panel this side. We need that off next. So pull the panel off. Pull that out. Right, what we're going to take off next is the sensor out of the airbox. It's called a IAT sensor. It's intake air temperature sensor. It's there, look. Right, and it goes through under here and it's this white plug you can see here. So need to take them 2 screws out. Now we need to undo this plug, so I'll just put the camera down while I get that off. There we go. That's what your IAT sensor, intake air temperature sensor. Now, let's have a look. Let's bag out the road. So I usually have Sue helping me with the filming, but she's a bit busy today, so you have to bear with me. Now, I'm going to have to splice this into the wiring loom, and I'm going to solder it in, which I've already cut the plastic off the wires and moved them so I can see the copper wire there. Now they send this with clips that you can like snap clip into original wiring. I'm not that keen on them, and I always solder these in solid so I've got a good fit. So I'm going to get them soldered on. Right, I'll get the soldering iron plugged in so we can solder it. Right, that's how we get on. Not a lot of room, but shouldn't be a problem. There we go, that's one. Two good solders. Now usually when I solder anything I heat shrink it down, but as we've not cut through the IAT wires, we've only got wire cutters, cut through the plastic and stretched it back, so we can't do that, so we're going to have to tape them up. Bit fiddly, but we'll get it. As you can see, I've got both taped up. Just cut the cable tie off that I put on to hold the liner back while I was doing it. There we go. Right, I've got a good thickness of tape on it, soldered completely through. Right, so next thing I'm going to fix it on the bike. Now what I've done on the back, put a piece of Velcro, and I stuck a piece of Velcro on top of the ECU. So thread this through here. Down the side of there, it's a little bit awkward for you to see. Make sure that fit through here. Yep. Put that through here and plug that back together. That's it. That's it. Stick that on the Velcro. Put that like that. That's good enough. So I'm able to get to the adjusting screw, and this is the on-off switch. Like I say, if you was going for an MOT, and let me think. Yes, if you've been using the bike off-road, that's the way I'm going to put it. If you've been using the bike off-road, then you're back on the road and you need an MOT in. That's on. Flick that off. The bike reverts back to OEM settings and will run solely off the ECU. Now, this company does claim it produces a certain percentage of extra power. I don't know about that. All I know is the bike runs smoother. This suffering from surging problems. Terrible it was. It has settled down a bit. Now I've run it a while, but it's still a little bit like that. That'll get rid of this. There won't be any surging on this, and the throttle will be crisp all the way through to the red line. Fuel consumption didn't on both bikes. Other bikes I've used it hasn't seemed to make any difference at all. So it doesn't make a huge difference on the Bullet. It just runs a little bit smoother. Obviously it's running cooler, but the Honda NC750X, a massive difference. It was a huge difference. That did seem to have more go, but I'm only riding it with a seat in my pants, so I don't have access in Bulgaria to a rolling road. Anyway, let's get this back together. Put the sensor back in the airbox down here where we took it out from. Fit the two screws back in it. Easy job. Just lightly nip them up, because remember, everything's plastic. There we go. Wiring's here, that's plugged in, that can go down there out the way, where it was in the first place actually. It's down the side of that, that's it. The wire's down here, that's on the Velcro, so it's good enough. We turn that on. Right, when you buy the box, when it comes, it's on a sort of a base setting. What I do is I start with what they've sent. I'll tell you what we'll do first job. We'll fire it up. That's the box in the on position. Now, I don't know how, whether this is too rich, too weak yet. What I do, I'll take it out for a ride. I take a little tiny screwdriver with me, minute one, that fits that little there. When you adjust this, it does tell you on here, low and maximum. Turn the screw anti-clockwise is to weaken it. Turn it clockwise to richen it. Now when you adjust this screw, don't turn it no more than an eighth of a turn at a time, because a little bit of adjustment makes a huge difference. What we're ticking over at. Yeah. I would say actual fact it's slightly running on the rich side, because we're ticking over at the moment 1500 revs. This usually ticks over about 12. I won't know till I run it down the road. So I'll take a screwdriver with me. I'll take it out on test ride, and we'll do a run. Best thing to do then is, when you've had a run, is to stop, take the plugs out, and just have a look at the colour of the plugs. If after a decent run they're sort of if I exaggerate, a sooty colour, it's too rich, weaken it off. But only weaken it off about 1/8 of a turn at a time. If after a run they're still white, which I don't think they're going to be on this because the reds are sticking over higher, is reaching it up 1/8 of a turn. But that's how I set it, and I just keep checking the plugs. You can tell how the bike's running yourself, if it's running sweet, nice, and if you think it's running really nice, yet the plugs are on the too darker side, just weaken it off 1/8 of a turn, run it again. It's a bit of a time consuming thing just to get it set right. Once you got it set right, that's it. You forget about it. It's set and it'll always be okay. Now, the reason I've had to solder the wires on, because like if you buy a booster plug, you buy it for Pacific bike, so it comes with the plug and a little wiring harness. This don't come like that. That's why I soldered the wires into it, but it's fine. So this is the fourth one I've used actually for ProRacing, and they work excellent. Right, so what I'll do is I'm going to put it back together now, then I'm going to give it a run. Yeah, sounds well. I'm going to give it a run, see how it goes, and I'll be adjusting it. So when I'm happy with it, then I'll finish this video off and I'll let you know how it goes, and I'll take you with me on the final review of it, if you want to call it that, sort of test when it's set up and we know how it's going. Okay? Right, I've adjusted the box up till the bike, I'll let it get warm, then I've adjusted this to the bike so it's a lovely smooth tick over, about 1250. And if you can hear that now, really smoothed it out. So I've got my screwdriver with me, put the seat on. Right, we'll take it out on the road and see how it is. It's still going to probably need adjusting slightly, but I'll see how it runs, and when I come back I'll whip the plugs out and have a look what colour the plugs are. Yeah, it's smooth on revving it up, and as you can see the tick over's pretty constant. Now, to be honest, the easiest thing for me to do was to fit this, get it all set up, and then go for a ride to show you how good it was. But that's not quite how it works in real life, is it, eh? Yeah, pickup's clean. Well, It's running richer than it was, I know it is, so it's going to be better anyway, but it's how rich you want to put it before it starts to A, affect your miles to the gallon, B, the bike isn't running crisp anymore if you go too rich, and if it's too rich the engine will actually start to hunt because it be just because it be too rich. So right, let's see how we get on. If it's slightly too rich, you find the ECU will adjust itself anyway, but it's only got a very small parameter of adjustment in it, so this overrides that a little bit. Yeah, pickup's dead clean. That was 6th gear, that was. It was pulling sweet as anything. Yeah, very nice. Yeah, as it's running, I'm really happy with that. That's nice, that is. All I should do now is, after I've been for quite a ride, it takes a while for it to settle in, is get home, take a plug out, see what colour the plugs are like. If the plugs are on the whitey side still, I'll just adjust it 1/8 of a turn, no more. Then I'll be test riding it again for a while. Then I'll just keep doing that till I get the plugs to a light brown colour, which is the optimum colour. Don't think by keep adjusting it richer you're going to gain masses of horsepower and your bike will be faster. It doesn't really work like that at all. Irrelevant to what it says on their website, I think they're a bit optimistic with their figures that they put. They say 20%. Impossible. If you could get 20% increase in horsepower by just fixing a fuel module, it'd be a miracle. But it does make the bike run better. It's like we're in 6th gear now. You watch the rev counter. Picks up dead clean, and that's into a really strong headwind as well. As you can see, it's making the bike weave about. Right, so really I don't need to tell you anymore. I'll get Sue to put a link in the video of contact details if anybody is interested in it, where you can buy it from. I prefer this to the booster plug, because like when you're up in the mountains, I say you're 2,500 meters up, the air is very thin. This works well. Right, just got back from the test ride. One thing I've noticed, my surgeon's disappeared completely. At low revs and like going through the village, whoops, sand, going through the villages, smooth as silk, which is a big improvement because it was horrible. Didn't like it at all. Just going to keep adjusting it till I get it to what I think is the optimum, and we're good to go. Right, I've had a couple of trips out on it now. Got it good and hot, and it's had time to settle down and adjust itself to what I've got in the box set. Now I've adjusted it on the road, stopped a few times, took the seat off, just like till I've got it what I think is really good. I'll show you now. I don't know what everybody else's is like, but when this was on tick over, the rev counter used to be like very, very slightly. Actual fact, when I first got the bike, it was quite a bit. It did settle down a bit, but I'll just show you now. Don't know whether you can see that. Just some lights on. Hardly moving at all. Settles back just about 1100, that's sticking over. If you listen to the engine, yeah, it's just a constant tick over now. It's not fluctuating up and down, and it used to sound like it got a small misfire, very, very slight. And I used to get a lot of popping through the silencers on the deaccelerator, and that's gone now. Engine's running lovely and sweet. Rev counter barely moving. You twist the throttle. That to me now sounds a lot better than it was, and it's how it should be running. On the road now, it's smooth, crisp, and I can go through the village speed limits in third, fourth gear. Just a constant throttle, and it doesn't do anything. Just keeps smoothing, where before you could just feel it like, it's gone. So I'm really happy with that. So, I hope this was useful to you. Say this one is quite a bit different to a booster plug, and the costs, I'll get Sue to put the cost of it down. You'd be surprised at this. It's a lot cheaper than the Fuel X, what I got on the Himalayan. And I think works as good, if not better. So I'm happy with this anyway. So I hope this was useful to you. Quite a cheap mod and something that works. So if it's useful to you, please subscribe, helps me keep this channel going, because you'd not believe how expensive it becomes running a YouTube channel. So please subscribe, it's free. A big thumbs up as usual. Any comments, leave them down below. I'll get Sue to put as much information about this on, where it come from, prices, etc. And we'll see you in the next video again then. Cheers.